Will Apple's smartwatch eclipse classic luxury Swiss watches? Let's find out from someone who knows. WSJ Magazine contributing watches editor Michael Clerizo joins us now. He's come to New York, especially for, well, it's not for us actually, is it?
Yes, it is. It's to help launch Watch Week, which is sponsored by the Wall Street Journal.
So Watch Week is happening, and you know a lot about watches, and you've seen the rise of the smartwatch, and we've seen the Apple smartwatch come out. Is it going to change the demand for classic Swiss watches?
No, in fact, I think it's going to help them. Let's say at the start, the Apple smartwatch is a wonderful product, and it's going to do a number of amazing things for people. But no, it won't replace the mechanical watch. And one of the reasons is it makes the mechanical watch, which is already an individualistic choice, even more individualistic, even more contrary to the crowd. If you're wearing a magnificent mechanical watch, you're saying, now I'm not a slave to my devices. I don't need to be in touch with the whole world every day. I can appreciate something beautiful on my wrist, something with 500 years of history behind it.
So that will remain more of a jewelry piece or a statement, a display of something, and you say it's a display of individualism rather than the connected devices that we're seeing with, for instance, Apple.
Yes, and I would go even further. Many people are now saying mechanical watches are obsolete. Well, Marshall McLuhan said when a technology becomes obsolete, it becomes art. So you're not wearing just a piece of jewelry, you're wearing a piece of art on your wrist. And again, I think that's a very individualistic choice. It says a lot about you.
Do you think that this smartwatch will be a flash in the pan? And I'm thinking back to the 70s when Casio, amongst others, came out with these new watches, some of which had solar panels on them, so you didn't need a battery, and they had calculators on them, and it was basically a time when even kids could afford to buy a watch, or at least get their grandparents to buy them a relatively inexpensive watch. But that went away. Is it going to be like that, a flash in the pan?
Not exactly like that. I don't think it'll quite be a flash in the pan, but what it's going to do is get people accustomed to wearing wearables. And one of the things about technology is it gets faster and it gets smaller. So I think much of the things a smartwatch can do today, in 5 years' time, you'll be able to do with this simple little cable worn around your wrist. The screen may be embedded into your shirt cuff or your jacket cuff or something like that, which will, of course, even more bring mechanical watches to the fore.
Now, I look around the office here, and I don't wear a watch, nothing on my wrists there, and I see a lot of people very similar to that, and just looking around offset now as well. Do you think this is going to get people back to the wristwatch thing? We had wristwatches for 100 years, basically from the First World War until the millennium, and then they seem to dissipate. Will this get people back?
Yes, I believe it will get more and more people used to going like this. To looking at their wrist to know the time. And that's good for all watch products, smartwatches and mechanicals. We've gotten out of that habit a lot. We look at our phones for the time, the phone is in our pocket. So this will bring people back to their wrist, so to speak.
Okay, back to the wrist. Thank you very much. Michael Clerizo.